Ho, ho, ho! Welcome to our Hoppy Holiday Special.
It's time to get jolly with some jolly good brews.
We've got a sleigh full of festive beers to review.
From stouts as dark as coal to ales as bright as Rudolph's nose.
Ho, ho, ho. Did someone say beer?
Well, as they say, no man is a failure who has friends or good beer.
And we've
George
got both.
Bailey.
Let's dive into our first brew.
Way to go, Clarence. Way to go.
Subscribe now and join us for the Spit or Swallow Beer Reviews Christmas Extravaganza.
Hey, welcome to Spit or Swallow Beer Review. I'm Jammer.
And I am Shag Dog. Merry Christmas, Jammer.
This is our Christmas Extravaganza 2024. We're also having a few of the forgotten or the fallen of Oktoberfest. I, in that regard, am doing Epic Brewing's barrel-aged Imperial Pumpkin Porter. Porter brewed with pumpkin and spices. It's 10.3 ABV. It says right here, this beer is 100% aged in hand-selected whiskey barrels, which bring forth bold notes of caramel and toasted oak. Flavors of fresh-cut pumpkin, hints of clove, fresh vanilla beans, nutmeg, ginger, cinnamon, and allspice all complement the rich and earthy malt build.
Hey, Jammer, while you're opening and pouring yours, I'm doing Bell's Christmas Ale. Traditional Scotch Ale is rich and malty with notes of caramel and a warm finish, certain to make any occasion festive or at least a bit more bearable. Enjoy with the company of friends and family. It's 7.5% ABV Scotch Ale / wee heavy.
Awesome, Shag Dog. Sounds wonderful. I like a lot of Bell's beer, and I would really like to be able to try that one. I'm going to have to try to hunt for that.
Yeah, I think we did it a long time ago. This is my second year in a row doing it, though. I did it last year, too. But
Yeah. You want to describe yours first or me?
Well, I can give my looks. Well, go ahead and describe yours.
All right. Well, mine is dark as the night is on a hidden moon type night. No moon out. Got a nice khaki head that's slowly dissipating. Looks inviting and soft and just pillowy. Of course, that doesn't matter as much as the smell and taste, right? The aroma. I'm getting a little bit of that whiskey bourbon type smell from the barrel age type, woody, with all the spices of the nutmeg, clove, vanilla. Oh man, you talk about kind of earthy vanilla and so forth. And I'm getting a slight alcohol type smell. And that's the funny thing about these Epic Brewing. They're usually high ABV, and I get a little of that sometimes with some of them. And this is only 10.3, which is low for them.
Oh.
But I'm getting it anyway. Granted, the flavors usually mask that alcohol really well. So I'm going to dive in, Shag Dog, and leave it to you to describe your beer with those wonderful phrases and descriptive terms that you love to use. You are a master of eloquence and a master of baiters everywhere.
Master, yes. Yeah, it's definitely, the look is the head is pretty much gone, less than a pinky, but nice little more of a beige head, but then off-white. It looks dark, but if you hold it to the light, it's like kind of orangey red. I don't know if you can see that right there. Bam. But, yeah, and the smell is the aroma. Malty, sweet, maybe a slight caramel, very slight smokiness to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big weed heavy fan, and I had this last year. I'm like, ugh. I mean, not that I super hate it, but I'm just not a big fan. But it's a Christmas ale, so it makes it a little bit more bearable, like the intro said.
Yeah.
So I'm
Well,
gonna
it
get
sounds like it might be fun to drink, especially if I was there with you and we were doing it Bells together.
Yeah. I tried to find a good AI image because in October, Bell's some type of Oktoberfest, or I think it was Oktoberfest. I had AI create 3 beautiful women with bells all over the place, and the girls showed up in orange. There's 3 of them. They look like gypsies. There's big bells all over the place. So I tried to redo that with girls in like Santa outfits. And matter of fact, the first image, I said beautiful women. It had a Jesus, girls in Santa, other stuff. But guess what? It was my face because the one time I had AI, what would I look like if I was an astronaut or whatever? It put my face on all of them. So I was Jesus. I was Santa Claus girls. I should have posted that as my background.
Yeah, you should have.
But anyhow,
I think if you would have said 3 sexy, sultry,
I should have said sultry. Yeah,
lustful type women with jingle bells on.
yeah. You should have seen I did it like about 30 times. They kept giving me like Asian women, African American women. Might have been
Nothing wrong with any of them.
Yeah, but they weren't dressed scantily. They were like fully clothed. I'm like, come on, I gotta see some skin.
Yeah.
I was asking for cleavage, but you can't ask for sexy pictures. You gotta do it a different way on Facebook AI.
Well, you have to try the
Yeah, because they're very moral on Facebook.
What was that rule we said about you not saying things that are humorous whenever somebody's
taking a sip. Sorry.
Yeah.
Here we go. Cheers.
Shag Dog, this beer, it's weird. This Epic Brewing beer, it's just really weird because these beers actually make my, well, at least this one is, make my tongue numb.
Yeah.
You know? And it's only 10.3, so you wouldn't expect that, right?
Right.
But it makes my tongue numb. And, but the flavor, I'm going to tell you right now, Shag Dog, this is like a cornucopia of decadence, man. It's just really there. It's got roasted malt. It's got a creamy pumpkin type pie filling type flavor. And it's bourbon soaked. It's got that bourbon soaked oak, type vanilla flavor. And then it's got like I don't know, kind of like a caramel, molasses, a little marshmallow, toasty marshmallow, and maybe flavor in it.
This ain't really bad. I mean, I'm just not a big Scotch Ale fan, but it does have more of a winter style to it for a Scotch Ale. There is a little bit of caramel sweetness, like a brown sugar sweetness. A little earthy.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jammer. My mustache is falling.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Dark fruits.
Yeah.
Probably even a little nuttiness, and I'm like slight coffee, maybe not coffee, slight chocolate, and also a little smokiness to it, which I think you'd like.
Oh, I wouldn't mind that. That just sounds good.
I mean, it's just a hint of it, It might be something else, but it's coming off smoky.
Shag Dog, you know as well as I do, just a hint is enough.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good. I like it for a wee heavy. And it's not too high of an ABV. It's only at 7.5, so it's not like one of those 12%.
Well, I have to say, these Epic Brewing ones that are barrel aged and so forth, they remind me of the Scottish ales that we've had. The wee heavies and so forth. And the Scottish ales we had from Innocent Gun, the barrel, and they remind me of that. And this one right here also has like a espresso, chocolatey flavor in there that runs right along with it. And it's a subtle undercurrent of that dark type chocolate with espresso type coffee and a little whiskey, But I have to say, in general, these beers are pretty tasty. I mean, it's one of my newer brewers.
Newer brewers.
Newer brewers.
Right.
All right, kids. All you ladies and gentlemeners.
Yes. Uncle Charlie has had too much again, kids.
Chippy's coming off the block. Was a Jenny on the block? Chippy was on the block, and he was.
Was it Jenny on the block? Jennifer Lopez, or
yeah, and Chippy was doing Jennifer Lopez on the block.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty tasty beer. I have to admit, and it does have the pumpkin flavor there. It has a thick, velvety mouthfeel.
That's nice. For this one, I give it a B+ and a swallow and a half, actually.
Wow, that's pretty.
It's very pleasant.
You don't usually do that.
Not with Scottish we have.
No.
But this is I can see it because it's a little with the Christmas ingredients that they put in there, and makes it a little bit milder and a little more pleasant to drink, I guess.
Now, Shag Dog, this is a pumpkin porter, right? And I think the pumpkin beers in general are better as porters and stouts, pumpkin porters and pumpkin stout.
You
the
had
regular pumpkin ale, the pumpkin brown ale, those were really good as pumpkin brown ale, pumpkin porter, pumpkin stout.
I mean, there's some good ones that are ales, but definitely most of the stouts, porter ones, 99% of them are pretty good, actually.
Yeah, and I have to say, this is, like I said, thick and velvety. It just kind of coats your mouth, and it's just like I don't know, it just really just like embraces your tongue and just wants to hug it,
Hug your tongue. We should have invited Jammer fan earlier. I forgot to even invite.
I sent him an invite earlier.
Oh, did you? Okay.
For this one, at least,
Because he jumped out so quick. I was like, well, maybe he's working or something.
Yeah, I'm sure he's working. He's a hard-working guy. He's dedicated, determined. He is a vessel of fortitude.
Right. Hey, what's your grade on that one?
This is pumpkin. What I was going to say earlier is that this is a pumpkin and it's porter, and all that stuff. But the flavors itself, the vanilla, the clove, the allspice, the cinnamon, the dark chocolatey espresso flavor and all that stuff. I mean, it's just bursting with all these different flavors, and it's coming up to the brimming to the edge, right? Wonderful flavors. It is actually kind of a Christmas beer.
Oh wow!
Because
there's nothing wrong with pumpkin on Christmas.
That's right. We have pumpkin pie on Christmas. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
Why not? Right?
So I say that this is an awesome Christmas beer. Now, granted, you normally would associate pumpkin with Halloween.
Yeah, or Thanksgiving.
But why? Yeah. But why, Shag Dog?
Thanksgiving really is the beginning of the Christmas extravaganza, really.
Yes.
That's when it begins.
I personally think Thanksgiving is like you said, the beginning and
the end
of Christmas.
At the end of Fall Oktoberfest and beginning of why not? Yeah, because
Falltoberfest usually,
technically it's still fall until December 21st, really.
Yeah, but I kind of consider Falltoberfest for our beers and everything,
even for the season.
Then shortly after Halloween. Yeah,
really, with fall season itself, as soon as you hit Thanksgiving, right after Thanksgiving, it's winter to me.
I much rather think of that as, all right, it's Christmas extravaganza time.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? It's time for a Christmas extravaganza.
All right.
Spectacular.
Yeah, we've done some great beer reviews during Christmas extravaganzas.
Really, we kind of started during that time.
Yeah, because that was our first beer review. Was towards the end of November was our first beer review, like November 18th or 20th. And I did the first one or two. Then you did one or two. And then I think we first did our first ones together like December 10th or 8th or something like that. Yeah.
And I personally think that's our season. We do spring too pretty good. I mean,
yes, spring's kind of a hard one to get some good spring beers, especially nowadays. But when we first started, though, we got some great. There was a lot of My Box and Dortmunder spring versions, and
you're absolutely right about that, Shag Dog. I mean, we scoured and spared no expense and found some great beers during that time period.
Well, you scoured mostly back then, but
I did a lot of work for the beer.
I didn't have much in my area.
And he doesn't travel the interstate.
You remember that Sunoco had some craft? They tried to sell craft beers one time, and I bought just about everything they had there.
But in general, I think the Christmas time is my favorite season of beer.
Yeah, it's my favorite season overall, but I do like some of the October beers. So it's a toss up. I do like some good pumpkin beers.
I'll be honest with you. My favorite times of the year, and especially here in Florida, I would say spring and fall in general are the ones because they're not cold, and they're not hot. You know what I mean? Yeah. When spring comes around, it's usually breaking free from the winter.
One thing I hate about spring there is the orange blossoms and
I love the orange blossoms.
Oh, my sinuses.
But you don't. That's not even going to happen anymore here in Florida because most of the places have been built up with housing developments and stuff like that. But anyway, what I'm getting at is fall when the first little whiff of fall weather comes.
Yeah, and Florida's late compared to where I'm at right now,
but in general, I do love winter.
Yeah, you'll get that one night. You're like, wow. It'll be a little cool night, a little bit of coolness in there. You're like, okay, fall's here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the crazy thing about it.
Even get that 3 days later, it's 85 degrees, but
but as soon as you get that little glimpse of fall, you feel it, and it's there. Especially in Florida.
First cold front.
Now, what was crazy, Shag Dog, is I was up there in Helen, Georgia, right? And it was really, when you think about it, it was at the peak opportune time and I didn't even plan for it, but the peak opportune time because it was the fall leaves were turning, all the leaves were turning orange and yellow and all the trees got that fall look. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, it was cold to a degree. It was in the 60s and 50s and all that stuff. And it varied throughout the day. You could wear some light long sleeve shirts and stuff like that and walk around during the day. And it was warm, but it wasn't super warm. It was nice and comfortable. We left, and not even a week later, it was down in the 30s.
Yeah. Here last night, it got down to 27 last night.
Yeah.
This morning.
So I mean, we were up there at the peak opportune time where it was just about to go super cold.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, they said the good news is last 2 weeks of December they say it's going to be average. All the South, pretty much Florida, all the way up past here, going to North Carolina, highs are going to be higher than average. So.
I don't
feel a little bit warmer.
And I don't know if you've seen it because I did mention it to you, but I don't know if you watched it at all. But the day after Thanksgiving, I think it was the day after. Yeah, day after Thanksgiving, they had the lighting of the tree in Helen, Georgia, and it was pretty awesome. The funny part about it is the week we were there, it was busy, but it wasn't that busy. I watched it that night when the lighting of the tree and all the other Christmas lights were shining bright with all the Christmas decorations and everything. Yeah. And let me tell you, that place was so freaking packed. There was dozens of people on the street and the cars lined up going down the main strip and everything. It was just...
Was it, being with your wife, was it a romantic trip at all? I mean, did it seem like, wow, honey, this is very fun, and I love
it was fun. It was romantic. It was, you know, it was entertaining and enjoyable.
So if I ever find a girl, it'd be a nice place to take her.
I think it was kind of enchanting in a way because the different architecture and I mean, I saw Waffle House, right?
Yeah.
Or Waffle House and a Wendy's, and it was designed like German architecture, you know, would be designed. Cool. It wasn't like your typical Wendy's. It wasn't like your typical Waffle House.
So did the Wendy's have one of those outfits on, you know?
I don't know what they had on the inside, but the outside, it looked like a German style architecture type building, you know. Yeah. And they had a little. I would have loved to have gone on the putt little miniature golf course because it was all lit up and everything. It looked really nice and everything, but she wasn't feeling that well, and I'm like, dang it. So but they have a mountain coaster that you can go down yourself and control it.
A little like cart thing you're in, and under little rails.
Yeah, and you control the speed. You know, so I thought that would be fun too. Didn't get to do that. There was a lot of things I didn't get to do. They had zip lining too. I thought that would be fun.
Hey, why didn't you do that?
Well, the first day we were there, it rained.
Yeah.
So we weren't able to do all that. The second day we were exploring and went to the waterfalls, and that was awesome. You know, seeing nature at its glory. You know, these waterfalls were awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, Ruby Fall. What is it? Anna Ruby or whatever it is. And then Dick's or whatever.
Dick's.
What was it? Dick's Falls or
Dick's Sporting Goods?
I don't know. It was one of those names. She said it the other day because I was going on and Bert and Ernie. I was
Richard,
all
maybe.
But it was another falls, and I think it was better than the Ruby or whatever falls. You know.
Yeah. Hey, when I was up at Lake Lure up there in North Carolina, I got hit pretty bad by that hurricane Helene there with the floods and everything. All the buildings there and Chimney Rock got destroyed. A lot of the buildings got destroyed, but they're rebuilding supposedly. Matter of fact, one company found, I forget what device it was, in the lake because all the debris went into the lake and left in the lake. You know, found something in there. I forgot what the fuck it was, but anyhow, they're rebuilding. They'll come back strong, right? North Carolina strong.
One thing could be said about the South. They can put up. They survive and persevere.
Yeah, I mean, I think most Americans, if there's a disaster, they help each other, neighbors. Now, granted, you'll have some people that are going to take advantage of the situations and everything like that in all areas. But I think
the majority
communities that even this neighborhood here. I mean, besides my stepfather talking to a lot of people, I don't associate anybody, but they all helped. Each other out, picking up tree branches, whatever, during that storm. You know, so I went out there one day, helped, but for like 3 hours because I worked nights, I still had to work. So
yeah, you're terrible. You know,
I'm a horrible person.
You're one of those Metro Males, man.
Metro.
Yeah, don't know how to work on your car. Don't know.
I could fill the gas up and change the tire. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, I know, but you couldn't do anything else. I mean, even if you followed YouTube, I don't even think if you followed YouTube, you could do anything else.
I had to change headlights.
Did you?
Yeah, that's pretty easy.
Change a battery?
If I had to, I could, but usually when I went and bought the battery, I just had those people do it. You know.
Well, yeah, if you buy a battery from someplace, you know, I mean, other than like Walmart.
And hopefully I don't have problems with this car like my last car, because my last car was getting a new battery like every 2 years out. There was some alternator problem or something.
Well, you know, in general, I think, but you're not. I should say you're not a handy type guy, you know, a handyman type guy.
I'm more of a hand model type guy, you know, hand model like George Costanza.
Yeah, George Costanza, you know. And I don't think Jerry could do it, and I don't think, Kramer might be able to.
But I mean, he could cook cook himself like a turkey on the roof.
Let me tell you, Kramer would at least try.
Yeah. I mean, he might screw something up or start a fire or whatever, but
Blow up something.
and he tell a good story about it, my mother was a mother. Father was a mother.
But I think that that just comes from having confidence and having somebody show you how to do things. And
my biggest fear is like screwing something up and not going to get somebody to fix it. Yeah.
Well, that's the crazy thing. I've changed the outlets and changed switches and put dimmers in and stuff like that. Electrical stuff. That's what my latest thing that I branched it out in here recently is doing electrical work.
Oh. So you're gonna be like the guy from Christmas Vacation here.
I've done a lot of plumbing work. I've done. I've changed, all that kind of stuff, and I've done a lot of work on vehicles.
Hey, I even changed
starters, alternators, radiators, all that kind of crap. Doing the timing belts and stuff like that.
The only thing I was really sad is you fixed your Jeep that one time, and it was going good for a couple of days, but then you took it to the shop, and that was the end of the Jeep.
Yeah, and that pissed me off because I think what they did was they fucked it up. I think I have to get that fixed too. I mean, I really need to get the Jeep back going.
You just can't be a Jeepster all your life. You gotta give it up sometime.
It's paid for. I'm going to be a Jeepster.
Even though you're a Jeep person, you're not like a crazy Jeep person. Like, oh, now I'm going to put these rims on it and these things and that things,
None of that really.
And I'm going to go drive it on rocks and maybe flip it.
Let me tell you, you spent this is the crazy part now, right? People are spending $50,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 on these Jeeps, and they're going out and crawling on rocks and doing all this stuff and almost or turning it over and flipping it over and all that stuff and everything. And you just spent all that money on that vehicle and you take it out rock climbing?
Right.
I'd rather freaking moron.
I like Jeep just because of the comfortness of if you get the top down, breeze, it's a good beach town type vehicle or
it's a fun, easy. It's a fun vehicle.
Yeah, taking it out and almost have to pay more money
mud
for it.
Bogging and everything. People always would ask me, "You take that out mudding?"
Yeah.
No, I spent over whatever it is. I'm not going to take it mudding. What do you think, you freaking idiot?
I mean, unless you're a millionaire. I mean, even if I was a millionaire, I wouldn't do that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, granted, if you're a millionaire and you can afford to do it and all that stuff, take
it and go buy another one. I guess.
Yeah,
if you really want to, but I'd rather give that money to the poor.
Mm-hmm. That is the
matter of fact. If I did win the lotto, I thought about it, and I would love to pick single mothers that are out there every Christmas.
Yeah, I'm sure you would.
To help them out with Christmas. We got single mothers.
Let me go ahead and give you a little sperm donation.
No. I mean, I wouldn't do like work done where he buys women down payment. He didn't buy
buys women.
No, he didn't buy their houses, but he put the down payment for their house.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of like, well, how are these single mothers that can't afford a down payment for a house going to pay the house payment? But anyhow, hopefully.
Yeah. To me, that's just stupid. If you're going to do something like that, why don't you
just pay for the whole house?
You could do houses for him
Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah, you could do that, right? You could build houses like Jimmy Carter, right?
Right, and make the people that are getting help build it, right? I believe so.
Or if you really want to help them, take a $200,000 home and pay 3/4 of it off, and then give it to them.
If their house payment's only $300 a month, yeah.
Make it to where their house, like you said, their house payment is only like $300 a month.
Right.
Yeah, they still have to get qualified. But that would give them the incentive to appreciate it just as much as the fact that you gave it to them.
I'm sure if someone put 75% down, I think they go ahead and qualify. You think, or?
Yeah, and here's the thing about it: if somebody gave you 75% down and gave it a house, wouldn't you appreciate that and pay for it yourself? The 25% that was left.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the rich person?
No, I'm talking about the person who received it.
They should, but I guess some of them probably take it for granted. Probably
Some of it would probably say, "Well, you fucker, you could have paid the whole thing."
Yeah, because you got like $10 million or whatever. Yeah.
But the thing, what gets me about it is that you could easily, well, granted, yeah, you could probably easily bought houses and stuff like that for people, but you can't give everything to people without
Right.
them
That's why I don't know
doing
how-
something.
I'm not sure how much big of a down payment. I'm sure he hasn't done it since he retired from football, actually. But he probably did like a good 20 or 30% down payment at least. You know? So I mean,
I personally think that if I was like Jeff Bezos or what's his name from Tesla, what's his name?
Elon Musk.
Yeah, had all that kind of money, I would go out and do that kind of stuff. I would go ahead and pay for a house and
Elon Musk got that supposedly that thing where it's a 10,000 hour home where you fold up and
that's the boxable one, and that
Yeah.
and I was really interested in boxable back in the day, and even investing in it and all that stuff. But I see them on the startup and everything constantly trying to get money for the company and everything.
yeah.
And on top of that, I heard that a lot of people haven't been able to buy even one of them. You know,
Yeah, and where are you going to put it? I mean, you're going to buy a big piece of property, put that little thing on it or whatever.
And when it comes right down to it, they kind of got me to where I was leery about it. You know, I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I
wish
don't
there
think
was-
this is a good investment, and I don't think that this right here is going to pan out. I think it's a company that's scamming people,
Right.
and getting all this money donated or not donated to them, but supposedly invested in them.
What I wish there was, Jammer, you ever been over by the YMCA where we used to live? Mm-hmm. And there's that little neighborhood. It's like small houses. They're not tiny, tiny houses.
Yeah.
But they're real small houses, probably one bedroom.
Yeah.
And it's the whole neighborhood or whatever. And they should build more places like that, especially for single people, because really half the people out there in the country probably got to have a roommate or a spouse or a boyfriend, girlfriend just to fucking rent a place, you know?
Yeah, well, you know, I think that most of those places, you know, if you're going to have a small house, well, you know what gets me about the small housing thing, right? When it first started, it was a nice alternative that was economical
Right.
for people to be able to get a house
Now it's outrageous. They're still they're overpriced.
that you were able to buy for, you know, 20, 30,000 at the most.
Right.
And put it on a piece of property, and man, you were awesome. You know, you had the house, you had everything.
Right. Something George
Now
Taylor
those
would,
small tiny homes are costing $150,000, $160,000.
I'd buy a car for $30,000 and live in that.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well, because you're not going to be able to afford it.
Yeah.
160.
Might as well get a minivan.
Basically, what they did was they took the small housing movement and put them where the housing movement was, and that housing movement would here, and the small housing movement would here.
Yeah.
And now this one is $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, and this one is $160,000, $200,000.
Mm-hmm.
They just created a new market segment and a new category.
The best time to buy a house was back in 2011, 2012 timeframe after that the market crash, and then the prices dropped. They couldn't sell them. They kept dropping, and then probably after about 2013 or 14, they started going back up. Probably at that point, but they were down so low. You know, like your house, you were probably down. That at 2012 was probably down to like 80, 90,000 price range, probably or less.
No.
You don't think so?
No, not whenever I bought it.
No, not when you bought it. Back
I bought
like
it in 2018.
I'm saying 2011, 2012 time frame.
Well, I don't know what it would have been back in the day, but I know that whenever the woman that had it before me bought it, she didn't pay that huge amount for it. She made a pretty steady, pretty good profit on it. You know,
I mean, you can make a
excluding.
profit on that now.
Oh yeah, now it's up to 300 some odd thousand.
Yeah. And that's a pretty good profit. Yeah. I mean, my parents bought that. Well, the house they bought down over there was pretty shitty. Bob had to fix it up, but I mean, they bought it for $80,000 and sold it for $310,000 or whatever hell it was.
Yeah, they had the perfect timing on that one.
Yeah, even if he didn't fix it up, he probably could have sold it for about $150,000, $200,000.
But what gets me about that though is that you turn around, you had a pretty decent house there, with a yard and a swimming pool and everything.
They got charged double taxes by the city because it was a double lot.
Well, yeah, of course you're going to get charged taxes for the
But
lot.
like double lot. I mean,
I can't see them charging double for the house, but double for a lot. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Because
that neighborhood wasn't that good though. Only thing bad about that.
No,
place
that was the
location.
neighborhood. Yeah, the location.
Yeah. I mean, that part was a nice neighborhood at one time, but a lot of people renting houses out over there now. So it's like,
yeah, the location went downhill in comparison from back in the day. But the house itself, decent house, decent yard.
They had other couple of houses in the area sold for around the same, so that's what kept them in that price range. Of course, there were some dumps around there too, but.
But then it's like everything. You turn around and sell something like that, and then you have to buy something, and you can't buy it in the same area because you just sold. Right. You know what I'm saying?
You're in the same market. Yeah.
Yeah, you would end up having to pay the same price.
Right, and that's what they were looking because they were looking to go to Daytona,
and they say Daytona is actually a good place for retirees to go.
Yeah, but they were looking at places like 200. The range they were looking for 220, and they said they were all dumps. Every place they went to, and they even went to. There's one halfway decent place. It was south of Daytona. I forget the name of the town, but even that was in a swampy area.
I don't remember even grading this beer.
I did mine, but I give mine a B plus a swallow and a half.
I don't even remember grading this beer.
Yeah, I think you did, but go ahead and grade it again.
Did I grade it?
Yeah. You want me to go back and look at it? I can't.
I don't remember grading it. But I do think it's a really good beer. I really enjoyed it.
I think you can grade it right after me, so don't do a second grade. You graded it right after I did. Pretty sure you did.
Well, if I didn't, we can come back to it and add a grade to the comments.
Yeah, there we go.
Or not comments, but description.
That's if either one of us watch.
Yeah, you want to do one more?
Yeah, one more. Let's get to it.
All right. Thanks for watching.
This one went too long. 37 minutes.
Ooh. Yeah, that's too long. Thanks for watching. Commenting, like, and subscribing. This is the Christmas Extravaganza 2024 for the Spit or Swallow Beer Review.
That's right, Jammer. We'll see you on the next one.